Let's go through a little hypothetical situation.
This is going to be a stupid hypothetical situation, isn't it?
Let's say a lesbian and a bisexual woman meet at a bar.
I can kind of see where it's headed, and I think it's going to be as stupid as I thought it was.
They talk for a couple hours and they both really like each other. They both think the other one is really attractive and nice and funny and smart, and they click really well together. But then, towards the end of the night, the bisexual woman mentions something about an ex-boyfriend. And when the lesbian asks her about it, she says that she's bi. So the lesbian woman gets mad. She thinks that's gross and feels like she's wasted her time, so she storms off without saying a word.
Well, in your hypothetical, the lesbian has a preference to only date lesbians. That's her preference. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But to treat the other woman the way she did in your hypothetical is her being a bitch. And there's no excuse for that. But let's hear how you're going to say it's some sort of phobic.
This kind of situation is really common. All the bisexual people I know have some kind of story about how lesbians or gay men have suddenly become disinterested in them after finding out that they're bi. That's textbook biphobia.
By what? Oh my god, everything to you people is phobic. Every preference somebody has means they're phobic about something. Get your heads out of your asses and realize just because somebody has a preference that you don't agree with doesn't mean they're phobic. I'll only date women. That doesn't make me homophobic. But to you, I'm sure it does. Everything to you people is phobic of some sort. It's ridiculous. Get it together. Welcome to the real world. People have preferences that don't align with you all the time. Get over it.
That's discriminating against someone for no other reason than their sexual orientation. And this kind of biphobia is rampant in the LGBT plus community.
Is it really a problem? Or are you just looking to make it a problem so you can make videos to make money and all that crap?
Like, obviously this is a problem with straight people too, but I think we can all acknowledge when straight people are being biphobic. If a straight girl doesn't want to date a guy because she thinks it's gross that he's bisexual, that's pretty obviously biphobic. That guy's bisexuality wouldn't hurt her in any way, but she still feels disgusted by it. And vice versa, if a straight guy didn't want to date a bisexual girl because he didn't like the idea that she's had romantic feelings for girls, that's obvious biphobia. But when it's within the queer community, we seem to think this kind of behavior is okay for some reason. Tons of lesbians and gay men have no problem saying they would never date a bisexual person. And that really just leads to the further exclusion and marginalization of bi people.
Because of course having preferences is a phobia of some sort.
Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic.
So I did some research and found a few reasons that lesbians and gay men cite for not wanting to date bisexuals. And now we can talk about why they're all bull.
Because all preferences are bull. And you must be willing to date everyone, otherwise you are a phobe of some sort. I'm surprised Riley doesn't think gay people are heterophobic. Oh, that's right. You can only be transphobic, biphobic, homophobic. You can't be heterophobic because reasons.
Number 1, I'm worried that they'll leave me for someone of a different gender.
12 seconds later.
And I've heard people say that bisexual people have twice the chance of leaving you because they have twice as many options. But that doesn't make any sense.
Well, if you think about it, they do have twice as many options. Not that most would actually use those options, but it's still there. And some people who have paranoia or a fear of their partner leaving them, that makes it worse.
Number 8, following the logic of this argument, lesbians have to date men and gay men have to date women. Otherwise, they're prejudiced. You're basically advocating conversion therapy light.
Now, I won't go as far as to say conversion therapy, but by your logic, that is true. Because every time somebody displays a preference for something, for a dating preference or anything like that, you guys call it phobic.
This is the most ridiculous argument. Sexual orientation and dating preferences are not the same thing. This is a slippery slope argument. Like, it's saying that if dating preferences can be changed, then sexual orientation can be changed in the same way.
But remember, you're the person that said your dating preferences are discriminatory. Just because someone likes or prefers to date someone who's tall over someone who's short, that doesn't make them heightist. Or someone that likes to date younger people as opposed to older people doesn't make them ageist. They have preferences. They are not discriminatory. So just because somebody doesn't want to date someone who's bi, just because they're bi, that doesn't make it discrimination. That just makes it a preference. But I mean, of course, to you, everything is discrimination.
Later.
And because I know how people are going to twist my words and misconstrue my argument, let me address some things right now. I am not saying that you have to date bisexual people or you're a bigot. I'm saying that if the only reason you won't date someone who you otherwise really like is that they're bisexual, that reasoning is harmful and prejudiced and biphobic. I am not saying that you are biphobic. I mean, you might be, but I think a lot of this stuff is just biases that we've all internalized thanks to growing up in a heteronormative society.
Might want to take a look at the screen. Your video, your dating preferences are discriminatory. Yeah, you just literally contradicted yourself.
And maybe you've never heard of this or even thought about this before. I'm not saying that makes you a bad person. I'm just saying that you really need to think about why you don't like bisexual people and figure out if that stems from biphobic stereotypes that simply aren't true.
Biphobic stereotypes? Mother, this is the first time I've ever heard the damn word biphobic, let alone any of the stereotypes.
Also, the title of this video is only Not Dating Bisexual People is Biphobic because not dating bisexual people solely because they're bi is biphobic is too long of a title.
Yeah, it's not really, so you're kind of being dishonest. Just a little. If you notice some of the numbers on the reasons while Riley was speaking, they skipped because, as much as I hate to say it, Riley made a few good points. So I didn't feel the need to respond to each and every single one of them. But as always, the link is in the description below if you want to go watch the full original video so you can see I didn't take anything out of context, didn't edit, manipulate anything. And as always, be sure to like, share, subscribe if you want more.